Hey you guys, it's your girl Bree. While I'm up here doing hair, I been receiving downloads while I am sitting up here. I'm doing my daughter's hair for school. And in the download that I received was that um some of y'all were being tested. Some of y'all people were trying to project things upon your children, were trying to slander things about your children and do all kind of different stuff to hurt your children to get to you. But God has showed up and showed out inside of that situation. God says some of y'all are about to receive some big old blessings in those same children that people were intentionally trying to hurt and harm are about to be blessed, about to have tables put in front of their faces because others tried to tear those children down, tried to destroy those children, tried to slander their children. A lot of times, us as parents, we need to pay attention to our children. Pay attention to who our children are coming in contact with. Pay attention to what our children are listening to, what our children are doing, because people project demonic spirits, demonic things upon our children. Teach your children how to always stay prayed up, how to fast. Teach your children how to journal, have a relationship with God. Don't teach your children to sit up there and watch all that TV and stuff. Teach your children how to pray. Teach your children um open up how to open up and be at one with God. A lot of times these children are being so railroaded and their mind turn it down and their mind are being plastered with things that shouldn't even be in their mind because of the stuff that they're watching, because of the stuff that they're listening to. A lot of those children are having problems with speech and reading and writing and stuff like that because of other energies and stuff that people have sent to your children. Learn to give your children spiritual baths. Learn to make sure that your children are rooted and grounded inside the word. Pray over your children. No matter how much of spiritual warfare that you may yourself may be under, always pray for your children at all times. Pray for your children so that your children uh could be covered also. Always pray for your children. I don't care what it is that you're going through. What is faced like, pray for your children because the enemy, sometimes your children will even get with other kids and practice stuff because another child then showed your child some stuff, so they would get with those kids and practice different things. And then you have the devil and you have chaos in your life. Your children are open themselves up to stuff they don't even know nothing about because they're listening to something another child has told them. Another child has told them how they learned this from their mama or their daddy. And then your child get caught up and mixed up in something that they're hanging around someone taught them. Like that's why it's not good to let people go to your house or whatever, because sometimes people teach their children stuff. The mamas and the daddies teach their children evil shit, and then those children come to your house and they leave those spirits and different stuff in your house and try to make your home be in shambles and in chaos because their home is in that. So make sure your children mind is strong, not to be no followers, but to be leaders. um I wouldn't say instill in your children that they have their own mind, that they should follow their own lead, that they shouldn't want to be like nobody else, have the characteristics of nobody else or any of that. Teach your children that the road that is set before them is because of them and God. Teach your children to know the way to go at all times. Teach your children that prayer is their greatest and biggest weapon, because if you don't teach your children how to pray, the enemy will come in and trick your children to doing stuff that is not of God. Some of these children up in here, they're playing with Ouija boards. They're doing ungodly stuff that they're seeing their parents and stuff do. So they're in your house and they conjuring up all kind of stuff because of something that their friends has taught them, or their parents has taught them, or their friends' parents has taught them, and they share it with your children. So at all times, make sure that you are watching what your children doing. You're covering your household and covering your children, because spiritual warfare is real. The mind is a battlefield, and the enemy, he attacks your children if you're not covering those children. If those children are not being covered by all means necessary, the enemy will attack your children to get to you. You heard me? He will have your children cutting up, acting a pure fool to get to you. That's what the enemy would do. He would have your children doing all that just to get to you, just to get you out your character, just to get you in a place where he can get you off the mission and the assignment that God has for you. But if you're staying rooted and grounded in things, then the enemy cannot get you to react nor respond to the stuff that you used to react nor respond to, because for the simple fact is that you recognizing the tactics of the enemy. Yes, God is covering you, but you can cover yourself also. You got to cover yourself also. Cover your household from those different spirits. Pray, stay prayed up. Give these children these spiritual baths. Sage your home. Cleanse your home real good. Mop your floors real good with cleansing. Like, you got to stay on top of it. You got to, because wherever there's junk and filth, that the devil, that's where he hangs at. The devil hangs at where there's a lot of filth and stuff at like that. He where there's a lot of clutter, because God can't come in a place with a filth. You heard me? That's why I hope you covered your mouth. That's why God clears your filthiness. God likes where it's clean. Being cleanliness is next to godliness. Remember that. Remember that. God dwells in a clean temple. He dwells where it's clean at, not where it's dirty and filthy at. He allows, God allows you to get yourself together, to get your household together, to get rooted and grounded in the things that he needs you to get rooted and grounded in, because the enemy is busy. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The enemy would do anything to get a hold to your children. The enemy would do anything to take you out. The enemy would do anything to get you off of focus, to make you feel like what you're doing is not right. The enemy sends all kind of people to you: sisters, brothers, lovers, mamas, aunties, dogs, cats. The enemy will send anybody to you to get you off your game, so that you would entertain them and not entertain what God has for you or where God is trying to take you. Remember that God loves you. Remember, God is fighting for you. Remember to install these things in your children. Let your children know that spiritual warfare is real. Let your children know that the devil attacks the mind. Let your children know that they have to learn to cast down all those thoughts. Let your children know that when the enemy tries to get them off their character, when the enemy tries to tear them down or make them feel some type of way, let your children know that they got to believe in who God told them that they were. That they have to understand that they're more than conquerors. They have to know these things. You have to start while they're young. You have to start getting them rooted and grounded in that word while they're young. If not, the enemy will overtake them. The enemy will overtake their life. The enemy will overtake them by all means necessary. And that's not what you want. You don't want your children or a child to be getting caught up with the enemy or his adversary or how things are going. You don't want that to happen. So just stay at all times, stay prayed up, and that's that. You know, stay prayed up and don't allow the enemy to feel like they won, they got the victory over you, because the enemy didn't get the victory over you. Okay, who God says free is free indeed, and you are free. You are free to do and be whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be and whatever you want to do, you are free to do it, because God has given you the power. He has given you the power to confess your sins one to another, to relieve yourself of anything that is not serving you, to relieve yourself of anything that's hindering you from being the best that you have to be. Yes, sometimes it is hard. Sometimes it is hard to get our children to see things from a godly way, especially when these children are younger. They want to be in this world. They want to listen to certain rap music. They want to do certain this. They want to do certain that. And your children can do all that. You got to teach your children. Y'all can listen to that music. Y'all can do all the rest of that. Be your true, authentic self. It doesn't matter what you do, just long as you're true to yourself. Don't lie to yourself and don't try to be nobody else. But you must teach your children to stay covered, to cover themselves at all times, from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet. And you have to also be covering your children. You must teach your children at the age of 12, your children start carrying their own sin. So it no longer falls upon you, but falls upon them. They start they have to start learning how to tarry in the spirit, how to spend that one-on-one time with God, how to surrender to his will and to his way that he may have for their life. You have to teach your children these days. Teach your children how that the enemy wants to take over their mind. The enemy, how God will give you the gift of something, but the enemy wants you to use that gift that God has given you for bad. So teach your children that adversaries come up against them. Teach your children that things will rise up against them. That they have to stay rooted and grounded in God's word. That they have to know that they know that they know who they are and whose they are. That they have to understand that we all come here with an assignment and a mission. And we have to complete that assignment and that mission that God has allowed to take place in our life. You have to teach your children that thy word that I've hidden in my heart, I will not sin against thee. That the word is very important in their life. You have to teach your children that. Teach your children to always stay prayed up at all given times, y'all, because the world is wicked out here. The world will chew these children up and spit these children out. Teach, uh, uh, guide these children in the word. So when tough times come against them, when adversary comes against you, need to go to the bathroom or something? When adversary comes against them, when tough times comes against them, they know how to handle this. They know how to handle the things that's coming against them. They know how to overcome when troubled times come against them. Talk to your children. You heard me? It's never at no age should you be afraid to talk to your children about something. You can talk to your children. You start talking to them at a young age. Start letting them know about things you have been through in your life. Never be scared to tell your children your story. Tell your children your story. Tell your children how you've been a fool before. Tell your children how you was looking stupid in the streets before. Tell your children about everything. Tell your children how if you've been molested before, if all these things has happened, open this up to your children. Let your children know what you have been through. Let your children know your story and what turned, Mom, and how strong you are and why you overcame the things you overcame. What is that? Like what that is outside? I know. That's a what? Oh, a timer. Yeah, let your children know about the trials and the tribulations you had to go through in life, the things that you have overcame. Talk to your children, bruh. Let your children know about generational curses. Let your children know about the things that can happen from your family. Let your kids know that they have to sow good seeds so they can reap good seeds. Let your children know that it's a certain age that they shouldn't be doing this and doing that anymore. Teach your children. Teach these children. Get down. Sit down and talk with your children. Have one-on-one conversations with your children. Sit down. Get your pen and paper. Study. Print out pamphlets so your children can read, so they can know the knowledge that you're trying to teach these children. Let these children know that you have them, that you have them, that you're going to cover them, but they must learn how to cover yourself. Teach the children how to pray the old people way. I teach my children how to tarry in that spirit. I'm talking about get deep down, go bold before the throne of God. They'll hear their mama here. Teach your children how to praise and worship God. They'll hear you'll come over here. I'm gonna record one morning for y'all to see what it's like in my house with my children. How some wake up early in the morning and they go eat, but I have some of them that get up early in the morning, they tarry in the spirit. They get to worshiping God. They put their church music on and they get to worship and ministering to God and singing to God and thanking God for their life, thanking God for the trials and tribulations that they face, thanking God for everything that they've been through, thanking God for everything that they going through at this present moment, how they keep seeking Him, seeking His face, and asking God to show them the way that they should go. That's what we need to be doing with these children. There's no time to be worried about who hurting us, who doing everything, but raising our households, making sure our households in order. Make sure there's no leaks or cracks in our foundation. Make sure when the adversary comes that you and your children can withstand the test. You know what I'm saying? A family that prays together stays together. You know what I mean? Make sure you're praying and fasting with your children. Make sure your children know the importance of prayer and fasting. Make sure make sure that your children are aware of certain things that's going on. Make sure that they know the difference. You heard? Make sure that they know that being a sacrifice, you heard, being obedient to God. Make sure they know that. Make sure that they can sacrifice things. Teach your children that they don't have to always watch TV and play the games and all that. Teach your children to spend some time with God and read their Bible, meditating and doing that kind of stuff. Teach them that. Teach your children that so they can be ready. We got to prepare these children for the real world. We got to prepare these children for things that's ahead. We got to prepare them. We got to let them know. We got to let them know about the things that's at task. We have to let them know all about it. We got to let them know about everything that's going on. We have to let them know how the enemy can see your blessings up on you, how other people can see your blessings up on you, and how they will try to tear you down, how they will try to tear down your hopes, dreams, and visions. We gotta let our kids know. Talk more to our children. It's not about a relationship. Time in this time and day right now, we shouldn't be focused on a relationship. If you're a single parent, you should be focused on getting your child right, rooted and grounded. Spend that time with you and your children. Don't worry about finding love, because when the time is right, love gonna find you. Spend your time on rooting and grounding your children. Rooting and grounding your children in a way. I don't want you to look at the camera because the camera don't look that way. Rooting and grounded in your children, and teaching your children things of the teach your children to be in this world but not be of this world. Teach them that. Teach your children how the enemy will come. The enemy will use them to try to use them to do his things, his dirty work, and then that's them getting in trouble. Then they looking for somebody to save them. But when they know the tricks of the enemy, they won't fall for what the enemy is trying to lie and tell them to do. So teach it to your children. Teach your children to be one with God, that God knows they sent, to have an intimate relationship with him. Teach your children just how they have a relationship with you. They need to have a relationship with God. They need to seek ye the kingdom of heaven first and his righteousness, and everything else shall be added into them. Teach your children that prayer changes things. Teach your children that before they go take their ACTs, before they take spelling tests, before they do anything, that they should take God with them. You know, I have a child that's on the front line battling. She knows to take God with her at all times. She knows that God is the one who's leading and guiding her. She knows that God is the one who's keep your head on. She knows that God is the one who's keeping her. He's making sure that nothing is getting nothing is happening to her. God is going to make sure that she comes back home safe to us. She knows that already. So she knows to pray without fasting, to keep praying and keep fasting. And I'm covering her, but she knows that God has her in the palm of his hand, because that's what I installed in her. I installed all that into my kids since they was young. I installed in them how God is a way maker, how God will make a way out of no way for you. All you got to do is just keep pressing forward. No matter what it look like, keep pressing forward. Keep doing the will of God. Keep allowing God to work things out for you. That's all you have to do. You have to keep allowing God to strengthen you in any area of your life that you're weakening in. Know that you are a vessel, and know that he is going to use you by all means necessary. Be willing to be used by God. Be willing to surrender to his will and his way. Sometimes it be hard, because sometimes we don't know the vision or the way that God wants us to go. But if you just wait and be patient, he will show you how to go. He will show you how to move, when to move, and why to move. He will show you these things. But you have to be patient. You have to be patient, and you have to trust in him. Trust in him by all means necessary, and where he's trying to take you in life and what he's trying to do for you. Teach that to your children. Love on your children. At this day and time, a lot of these children are suicidal because they don't feel love. Have an open door policy where your children can come talk to you about everything. Any and everything. It's nothing. You and your children, we quick to say we're not our children's friend. I'm my children's friend, but I'm also their mother too. They already know. My children know they can come talk to me about anything. Sometimes children can't feel like they can't talk to their parents about stuff. Your children should be always, you should always be available to your children. Always available to your children. I don't care how old they are. When your children need you, you should always be there as a parent because God has entrusted those kids to you. God has given you those children. He's giving you those children for a reason. He's giving you those children because he knew that you could take care of those children. So you give those children back to God and you keep doing your motherly duties that you have to do on this earth, and the angels are leading and guiding and protecting your children. You make sure that you pray for your ministering and warring angels to go out and protect your children daily, and allow your children to be protected and covered under the blood of God, because Jesus is making a way out of no way for your children. He's keeping your children. He's not going to allow the adversary or the devil to take over your children. You have to learn. You have to learn to pray, cover them, guide them. You have no worries. You heard me? You have no worries and no fear. When you're a child of God, you fear nothing because God is with you. God is with you and you shall not fail. If God is for you, nobody can be against you. I teach that. I try to tell my children that all the time. God is for you. But you never force God upon none of your children. And none of your children don't want to know about God or something. That's on them. That's on them in there. Some children just take a little while to get used to being to God. Get used to surrendering to God. Get used to being praying and spend time with God. But it's a must you teach your children how to journal. It's a must you teach your children how to write the manifestations down. It's a must you teach your children how to have a gratitude list, to write their gratitude list daily. It's a must that we lead by example with these children, because in this day and time, the streets are cold and wicked and trying to get our children and all kind of stuff. So us as parents, we have to make sure that we are teaching our children what they need to be taught. We are schooling them on. We are making sure they're spiritually smart, book smart, and street smart. That's how we have to treat our children these days and time. Because if we don't, the enemy will come and the enemy will take over our poor baby's mind, body, soul, and spirit. But we have to cover them children. That's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to start covering y'all children. Don't worry about nothing that's not going on outside of your household. If something going on outside of your household, they got shit to do with you. Worry about what's going on inside of your household. Always worry about your children's happiness. Always worry about your children being at peace. And always worry about your children feeling love. Okay? Feeling the love. You heard me? Inside of your household, it should be laughter, joy. It should be peace. It shouldn't be no bickering and all that. Everybody should be loving each other, having respect for each other. That's what they should be. Everybody should be loving and respecting one another. That's how it should go inside of your household. Everybody should be in peace. You heard me? Because a divided household shall not stand. I didn't say that. God said that in his word. So make sure your household is standing. Make sure your foundation is solid. You hear me? I'm talking about solid with no cracks and crevices and nobody else can get into it, because people be secret enemies of yours. People be secret enemies and secretly want your lifestyle, so they'll get people. I don't care if it's a basketball coach, a volleyball coach, a color guard coach, a speech therapist, a teacher. I don't care who it is. Be careful of who is planting seeds inside of your child's head, because people will be secretly don't like you and will be secretly trying to tell your children all kind of stuff to make your children feel like you don't care about them or you don't want what's best with them. So be careful of who you allow to plant seeds inside of your children's head. Be careful of who you are allowing to work things out for you and your kids. Be careful of these things. Be careful that everybody has the same intent at you, because eventually people's masks come off. So always pay attention to who and what are around your children, and what purpose are they around your children. Are they around your children to help your children? Are they around the children to take from you and your children? Pay attention to the people that you have in your life. Pay attention to the people that you have around your children. But most of all, teach your children to pay attention how people move. Because people in life will convince your children to get into things that your children have no reason getting into. So teach your children to pay attention to what people are saying and what people are asking them to do. Because people will confuse these children out here, y'all. I want y'all to take care of these kids, bro. It's so much of stuff going on with human trafficking and stuff with our children. Protect your children by all means necessary. Do not allow the enemy or the adversary to get to your children. I'm praying for you guys. I'm praying for you guys. Do not let the enemy take over y'all sweet babies, bro. God has given us these children. Pray over your children, bro. It's so much of suicides going on. Pray over these kids. It's so many other little kids killing your children out of jealousy and stuff. Pray over your children. Stay prayed up. It's time to stop all that mess. It's time to stop disliking people over a man. It's time to stop liking other people because you're jealous and envious of that person. It's time for all that. It's time to come together and protect our children. It's not about the foolishness, y'all. It's about the kids. If you look on the news, every time you turn around, a little child is being killed. The juvenile justice systems is so full of these kids. We got to stand up. We got to be some advocates for these kids. We got to believe in these kids. We got to support these kids. I know sometimes it's hard to support all the children when you have multiple children and you're a single parent, but listen, God will send you someone to help you. He will send you someone to be places where you cannot be. Trust in that. God will send you your soul tribe. You just believe in him. Believe in God and that he's making a way out of no way for you and yours, y'all. Stay prayed up. Do not give up and do not give in to the enemy. Don't not allow the enemy to put these thoughts in your head that nobody's there for you, that nobody's clapping for you, that nobody's going to support you. That's a damn lie. Somebody is going to support you. Somebody's going to love you. Somebody's going to cheer for you. Somebody's going to support your kids. Somebody's going to be there when you can't be there. Trust and believe. Do not allow the enemy to get into your head and tell you these things. Stay grounded. Stay rooted in his word. Stay covered up. Stay prayed up at all times, no matter what it look like or how it looks. Stay prayed up at all times and know that this journey is you and God on this journey. Surrender to the unknown. Surrender to him. Let him know that you trust him. You trust in where he's taking you. You trust in who he's sending to you. You trust in him all around. Let him know that. Turn this one back to the side. Let him know that you trust in him and you trust and believe in where he's taking you. Let him know. That's right, cover your face. Let him know that he loves you. God loves you. He will never put on you no more than you cannot bear. He's taking you where he wants you to go in life. And you must surrender and go where he needs to go. But most of all, y'all, take care of those babies in this cold, wicked world that we live in. Because I see a lot of people their children have been getting spiritual attack. All of a sudden they seeing their children, act out, doing stuff that their children never would used to do. That's just the enemy. Just stay prayed up at all given times, y'all. That's all y'all have to do. Stay prayed up. Stay rooted and grounded in the word at all times. The enemy cannot have y'all. The enemy cannot have your children. Stay prayed up. Stay rooted and grounded in God's word. God will make a way out of no way for you and yours. I'm telling you, he did it for me and mine. He has no respect of a person. Keep y'all children safe from these predators out here, y'all. Keep them safe by all means necessary. Well, it's your girl Bree signing off. I love you guys. I just had to come drop that word of wisdom and encourage to somebody. I will be back later to talk to you guys about some other stuff. Just stay prayed up, you guys. Please stay prayed up and watch over y'all babies. Watch over y'all kids, bro, because I'm telling y'all, they got some grimy people out here. They got some grimy people, so just stay prayed up and watch y'all babies. Well, it's your girl Bree. I love you guys, and I'm signing out. Peace.